Light the beam, 122 to 107. Say goodbye to that 4-game losing streak. Say hello to a long road trip. And in a moment, say hello to Ryan in Sacktown.
3, 2, 1, go.
Sacramento miscue. Carter, stolen by Williams. And look at this. Oh, you don't like that. You don't like NBA basketball. Fox, goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. The exclamation point from De'Aaron Fox. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
Boy, that's an ESPN highlight right there. Whoa. Carlson comes in. How about this? Holy moly, Jim Bob Foley. That is a major league smush.
Well, the Kings are playing a lot better than my Wi-Fi connection right now, but it's good to be with Ryan in Sacktown. Light the beam, buddy. How are you?
Doing well. Great to have you back, Napes.
It's great to be here, and I want to say you were awesome the last couple of games because let me tell you, those were not easy shows to do. There were a lot of pissed off people the way the Kings lost those last couple of games. So I give you full props, buddy. Full props.
I appreciate it, Napes. And you know what? Credit to all of the viewers and everybody that's called in over those shows. Great content. Way to bring it. Good job, you guys.
Again, I'm not getting excited about the Kings winning this game. I'm not. Just like I wasn't excited after the Detroit and Charlotte game. And I told you, and everyone go, gee, you know, you're Debbie Downer. I'm not Debbie Downer. I'm like, so what? You beat Detroit. So what? You beat Charlotte. What happened to your next 3 games? You know, my point is I want to see this team play against a good team, which they're going to have an opportunity coming up here on the road trip and then win. You know, beating an injury depleted Atlanta team, it doesn't do anything for me other than that's what they should have done. Now let's take this show on to the road and see what they're able to do.
Yeah, I mean, the headline coming out of tonight is that you've galvanized the team. They're no longer bleeding, right? They stopped the losing streak, and luckily it doesn't go to 5. That's a big thing. Think about that for a second, Grant. There's not been 5 straight losses in 2 seasons. But, you know, this road trip, it's going to be brutal. One point on this road trip, Grant, they've got 3 games in 4 nights.
I know. Yep. Yep. So, which means you'll be hearing all about that on your TV telecast. And the Kings start off the road trip taking on a Warriors team that's going through a lot of emotions right now. But they play these Atlanta Hawks on Wednesday. So the Kings are catching them on the second night of a back-to-back.
Good time to catch them. But yeah, that game, when the Kings match up with the Warriors, Grant, that is going to be emotionally charged for that Warriors team.
It is going to be emotionally charged. And, you know, Phoenix did win tonight. They got Kevin Durant scored on the last possession, and they got the stop. So Phoenix stays ahead of Sacramento at 25-18. Sacramento with the win, they go to 24-18. Dallas lost, so they're a half game behind Sacramento. So the Kings move from 8th to 7th with this lengthy road trip upcoming. Minnesota 30-13 in first place. Sacramento 24-18. You know, when I look at this, and I don't want to bypass what we are going to talk about tonight.
Yeah,
and I know that I get in trouble every time I do this, but I think it's important when you look at this road trip. Like we looked at the last road trip, right? And we said that Detroit and Charlotte have to be automatic wins, and they were.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when I look at this road trip, okay, here are your games that I think you absolutely have to win. At Golden State, they're not very good. They're playing on the second night of a back-to-back. At Memphis.
Wait, they're still, Grant, they're still going to bring it. That's the thing, regardless of their assistant coach passing. That's an emotional game. That's a rivalry.
I know. I understand all of that. But, Ryan, if you're going to act and talk like Domantas Sabonis talked about in the locker room after the Indiana game, if you're going to talk as you're one of the better teams and best teams in the NBA, this is a game you have to win, okay? And you go to Dallas. You caught Dallas the last time. They had played Milwaukee the night before. So you definitely are going to take on a different Dallas team. You have to beat Memphis, right? I'm considering that. And Memphis has been playing pretty well, though, despite
better basketball. They're getting back into the groove of things.
At Miami, going to be difficult. At Indiana, new look with Siakam. You'll have Halliburton back. Then the next night at Chicago, they're a pesky team. They almost beat Phoenix tonight. Then you're at Cleveland. So that's why I'm looking at the Golden State game on a second night of a back-to-back. And Ryan, let's just call it the way it is. Yeah, they're going through a lot of heartache, and I can't even imagine losing the assistant coach on a road trip to a heart attack. But they're not very good. They've been playing horribly. So you got to beat them.
Yeah, you do have to beat them. It's a national TV game for what it's worth. Whatever. Here comes the record on national TV. But you've got to take advantage of them. And you always say they have Steph Curry. The Kings do not. They've got to find a way to stop him, regardless of what the rest of the Warriors are doing. And
I'm just going to say this: if De'Aaron Fox does not start playing like the De'Aaron Fox we're accustomed to seeing, I think they're going to have more losses than wins on this road trip. I'm not very optimistic when I see Fox playing the way he's been playing, that you're going to be able to you're going to be able to have a really successful road trip. Again, 7 games. All right. 7 games. All right. I'm going to play numbers with you. Yep. If I told you that the Kings would go 4-3 on this road trip, would you take it right now before they left?
Absolutely. I'd take 500 right now, the way they're playing. No doubt.
Well, but it's 7 games, so you can't go 500. You can either go,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but you're saying you would take the 500 plus is what you're telling me, right?
All day. I would even take 3 and 4, 3 and 4 maybe.
Oh, I wouldn't take 3 and 4, not in this conference. No, because you know why I wouldn't take 3 and 4? I'm going to tell you. I agree with what you're saying about Golden State, and your points are very well taken. Okay. But you're still better than them right now. Memphis, you're better than them, and you have to win. So that's 2 with 5 games left. That's 2. Then you have 5 games left to win 2 games. That's the way I'm looking at this road trip.
That's fair. That is a fair point. And by the way, we appreciate all you being here on If You Don't Like That. Hit that code right there in the top of the screen, top left corner. That will bring you up. We're going to take your phone calls. We always love getting your input. Speaking of that, we're going to get to Condog 209. You're on with Grant Napier. How you doing tonight, bud?
Well, this was a fantastic night if you liked scoring the basketball for the NBA across the board. I mean, you had DeJounte Murray, 35. Joel Embiid setting a Sixers record with 70. Karl Anthony Towns, 62. Tatum, 39. Jaylen Brown, 34. So great night for scoring.
Yeah, it was a good night for scoring. You're exactly right. There were big-time numbers put up on the board. Well, and that's what you get right now in the NBA. It's an offensive league, and it's about scoring. That's why the three-point shot is so prolific. I personally don't care to watch this era of NBA the way I watched the past eras. I don't enjoy this style of basketball nearly as much as the way it used to be played. I don't like the analytics in the game. I don't like the fact that it's become primarily a three-point shooting game. It has diminished the big man. It has changed the way the game is played. I'm not crazy about that.
You miss your big man, Napes. You miss your big man.
You know what I miss? I miss players going in for layups instead of kicking the ball out to the 3 for, to get 1 extra point. I miss that. I miss 3-on-1 fast breaks where teams now drive to the lane, pick up a defender, draw the defender to them, and kick out into the corner for a short 3. That's not the way the game is meant to be played. I don't like that. That's, again, I like guys that were big playing with their back to the basket. We don't see that enough anymore in the NBA.
So if we took a poll of the NBA players right now, would they agree with you or disagree with you?
They would disagree with me because this is all they know. Well, I want to get to you. All right, you tell me. What do you think the answer would be, Condog? You tell me.
Yeah, again, a lot of players are used to, hitting the 3 ball these days. Me personally, my favorite player, just entertainment and skill-wise, was Shaquille O'Neal because he was just hilarious and dominant at the same time. And This is coming from a Kings fan. I would see him a lot as well, West Coast. But yeah, he was probably my favorite big to watch. Again, I'm 27, so growing up right when he was in his prime, so makes sense there.
Ryan, the reason why I answered the question the way I did is this is all these guys know. They went up. They grew up through the the system of basketball that's taught now in the AAU level and all of that, right? This is what they know. They grew up watching Steph Curry come into the league. A lot of these guys, this is all they know. All right. If you go to any playground in America, and it was interesting, when I was in New York a couple of months ago, I drove through several neighborhoods where they had games going on, and I stopped just to casually watch for a minute or two. The biggest guys on the court were all taking jump shots. Nobody was near the basket with their back to the basket. They don't know. That's the way the game's taught now. That's the way the game is played. It's not the way the game is taught and played necessarily over in Europe, but in America, that's the way the game is played right now.
It's a great point, Napes. Con, thank you so much for the call, man.
Yep.
Appreciate you tuning in.
Good stuff. We appreciate you, man.
Glad
Nice
to be
job.
here. Let's go.
He always has to get the arms up. You notice that, Napes? It's always with the arms. I love it.
Yeah, I like it. You know, it's all good. Yeah.
So, Napes, we talk about this game a little bit.
All right. So here's your final.
Yeah, I was gonna say we talk about this game tonight and the final numbers and how it shakes down. What do you like? What did you not like that you want to fix heading out onto this road trip?
Well, I like the fact that they finally beat a team that they're supposed to beat. It's been a while.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, Charlotte and Detroit, it's been a while. So they beat a team that they were supposed to beat. That's the first thing I like. They had a significant lead at halftime, and the game didn't really get close. Did it get under 10 at all in the second half? Right?
It got to 10. It got to 10.
So I like the fact that on the heels of what happened on the last road trip, and since then they had a home game against Indiana, but I like the fact that they were composed, albeit against a team that's very undermanned right now. I like that. We're getting a lot of questions about De'Aaron Fox. I don't look at the numbers as much. I use the eyeball test. He does not look right to me. Okay, now I don't know whether he's hurt. I don't know what's going on. What I do know is I think that's another reason why Ryan said he would automatically take a 4-3 road trip, because with Fox playing the way he's playing currently and the way he's been playing lately, I don't know if the Kings are going to win 4 games on this road trip. I don't think the Kings are capable of winning 4 games on this road trip, Ryan, without the A version of Fox. Now, I would also say this, Rhino, and tell me if you agree or not. It seems like Steph Curry brings out the best in De'Aaron Fox.
Steph Curry absolutely brings out the best in De'Aaron Fox. And that's a great thing. Those guys need those guys to grow off each other. Think about the days of Mitch Richmond and Michael Jordan going at each other. Wonderful basketball back in the 90s. But Grant, it's not just Fox's scoring. It's the distributing. Only 1 assist tonight.
Yeah,
and so that's what worries me with the way that he's playing, whether it's physical or whatever it may be. He's got to distribute for this team, because if he doesn't, who else is?
All right. After a win, all you can talk about is one player. Says it all about you. Well, what it says is that we know what the hell we're talking about. Okay. And what it says is that the Kings have proven this year, okay, that they're a very Jekyll and Hyde team. And what we have also seen is that when De'Aaron Fox plays at a very high level, the Kings normally win. And when De'Aaron Fox does not play at a very high level, they lose. So we are going to talk about one player the same way we would talk about Brock Purdy from Saturday or Patrick Mahomes from yesterday, because the quarterback is the most important position on the field and on the floor. So we are going to talk about your all-star point guard, who's the quarterback of the Sacramento Kings, because he drives the car. He is the guy that drives the car. And if he's not driving a car well, and he's erratic, and, you know, he's not able to keep the car in the lane, so to speak, this team's not going to win a lot. So you're damn right we're talking about one player. You're right. We are. And you know what it says? It says that we know what the hell we're talking about. I don't know about you, but it says that we are pretty much in tune with what's going on with this team.
Grant, well said. And here's what I would add on to that. What does Mike Brown talk about with this Kings team all the time? He wants them to play with pace, wants them to play fast. Who's the Kings' fastest player?
Hello, number 5.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
We get to Dirk. Dirk, thanks so much for being here on If You Don't Like That. You're on with Grant Napier.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Probably four things I want to call out. First half defense of Keegan Murray. I was watching the game. I don't think anybody except Murray on the Hawks was able to score on him. I don't know if anyone else noticed that on-ball defense from Keegan in the first half. I missed the third quarter, so I can't speak to that. I thought that was awesome. Number two, kind of a disturbing trend to me. You get one guy like Herter or Barnes stepping up, and then Fox or Sabonis doesn't give you as good a game point-wise as maybe they would normally. Why is that happening? Like, today felt like Harrison Barnes was like getting tired of all the negativity around him. He was going to be aggressive. We saw his bag, his moves tonight. He's had those moves. Those are nothing new that he was doing. We just actually saw him get a chance.
Dirk, let me answer that question before you go on to your other 2 points.
Dirk, yeah, sure.
Dirk, let me answer that question. Dirk, let me answer that real quickly. The reason for that is a smart NBA player knows when a teammate's got it going on, and a smart NBA player will allow that player to carry the team, and particularly a player that's been struggling like Harrison Barnes. I actually look at that as a positive, that the players recognize that here's a guy that's been struggling, that had his A game going, and they kept on feeding him the ball and kept on letting him do his thing. So I don't necessarily agree with you. I understand the point you're making, but this is a situation where I thought the other players on the team said, okay, you got it going on. We're going to ride you. And I'm fine with that.
See, Grant, I think that this was game plan. Whenever you've seen the Kings go to Harrison Barnes so aggressively, I think we saw Mike Brown probably saw a matchup opportunity. Again, I don't watch the Hawks, so I think I see that. I'd say sometimes Fox, and again, it's hard to criticize your all-star. We throw a lot on him. Sometimes he's not late in games. I would say he's not looking for some guys like that. Minor criticism. I forget my other points, so I'll end the call there. But thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Hey, we appreciate you joining us. That's funny. Thank you very much.
Well done,
Ryan. What do you think about that?
I agree with Keegan in the defense.
Yep, me too.
I thought that was great. In terms of what he said about Harrison, there's something to it. I think don't undercut what Harrison did tonight, right? He's got to do what the coach lays out for him to do. But is there some question marks, some clarity that needs to be there about, is there clear direction coming from this coaching staff with offensive sets and taking advantage of mismatches? So, because we don't always see it. He is right there. So,
spot on.
In the middle, Napes.
Yep. Hey, I want to tell you about New Works Plumbing. For all of your plumbing needs and repairs, go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they're available around the clock 24/7 for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. Again, that's sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Sacramento wins tonight. Light the beam. It has been a while. 4-game losing streak is in the books. And Dirk made some great points there. Very, very happy to have him on the show. And if you want to come on, there's the QR code, and you can certainly join us. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, you don't have to be on camera. You can do audio just like Dirk did. But come on up. I know John was up here a minute ago. But yeah, get in here. Come, give us your takes on this road trip. Grant, there was a graphic at one point tonight asking what grade that you would give the Kings so far this season. Your choices are A through D. Where are you going?
C+.
C+. Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't see where the poll came out, but I think a C+ is fair.
So at the end of 41 games, they were 5 games over 500 and had lost to a lot of bad teams and had fallen in the standings. I think at the time they played game 41, they were either 7th or 8th. So based on expectations, see, I'm grading the Kings on a curve.
See, you are. That's the big thing.
And so if I'm going to just do the totality of it, I'm probably going to give them a B, but I'm grading them on a curve based on what I saw last year, based on they have the same players back and should be better this year, and the improvement of Keegan Murray, but they're not better. So I'm penalizing the Kings by a letter grade. That's why I'm doing that.
How much do you, so I appreciate you breaking down all the factors on the grading. How much do you factor in the, I guess you want to say inflation? How much better offensively the NBA has gotten this year compared to last year?
I don't really look at that in terms of how I'm looking at the Kings, because my biggest issue with the Kings are the two things that I've been talking about with you and Jerry. And I credit Jerry because he's the one that pointed this out to me years and years ago. Once you get around 30 to 40 games, the point differential is very important. And coming into this game, the Kings had the worst point differential of the top 8 teams in the league at .02. Now, that will go up a little bit. Okay, it was 0.2. I beg your pardon. That will go up a little bit with the game today, but that's alarming. And here's something else that's alarming. Of the top 10 teams in the West right now, the Kings, okay, allow the most points of any of those teams. So, Ryan, I ask you, how are the Kings going to rise in this very difficult conference with a bad plus-minus point differential, relatively speaking, and allowing the most points of any team in the top 10? How's that going to happen?
Shoot the hell out of the basketball? Play with 2 basketballs? Will they let that happen, Grant?
I would love to see him. I would love that. You know, Ryan,
Yeah.
when's the last time that we came on talking about, was it the Charlotte game? All right, let me back up. When's the last time we talked about the Kings' great offense collectively? Right? Maybe the Milwaukee game, the loss in overtime? I don't know. I'm just throwing random games at you. When was the last time you and I came on and go, wow, that's the Sacramento Kings offense. That's the offense that we wanted to see, you know?
You weren't here for it, but Phoenix, the Kings did that for 3 quarters. They played 40 minutes of great team basketball, then 8 minutes of garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. So anyways, we get back to the phones. We bring in our first international caller, Baki. Good morning to you, sir. You're on with Grant.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
You're watching the Australian Open. I like that. You got a little tennis going on. I didn't realize you were a chair umpire. I got a picture for you, Baki. I'm going to show you on this screen. That's going to blow your mind. All right. I'm hoping that it comes up on the screen. I want to get your reaction to this. I didn't know you were a big tennis guy. I love tennis. Grew up playing tennis and have always enjoyed. Used to go to the U.S. Open every single year with my dad. And my brother. Every year we were at the U.S. Open. So let me show you this picture here, Baki. I don't know if it's going to come up on the screen, but I want you to be able to see this, all right? Hang on a minute. Now, Ryan, let me see what we got here. I'm going to see if Baki can see this. Let's see here.
This is old school. We're going phone to screen.
Oh.
That's me and John McEnroe.
Fantastic.
No way.
That's
See?
crazy. Bravo.
All right. So you'd love this. In the 90s, John McEnroe was playing Andre Agassi at Arco Arena in a exhibition match.
I was there. I was there. Yes.
Okay. Well,
yes.
They asked me and another quote unquote celebrity, which to play one set of doubles. And I got paired with McEnroe. Now, Baki, you won't believe this. John McEnroe and me are the exact same age, and we grew up 5 miles apart from one another on Long Island. But I had never met John. But same age, 5 miles apart, and ended up playing doubles.
Syosset.
Yep,
Syosset, right?
He's from Cold Spring Harbor. I'm from Syosset. Good job there, Ryan. And I played one set of doubles with John McEnroe against Andre Agassi and someone else. How about that, Baki? That's pretty good, huh?
That's awesome. That's awesome. There is the man commentating the match right now. Yeah.
Good old Novak, huh?
Nate, you got to put that picture up again. Can we get that picture again? You're kind of making McEnroe look small here. Look at that.
He makes
was in good shape. Look at that.
Makes McEnroe looks old.
I know. You make him look like yeah. Wow. So who won the little? You guys didn't play a set. You played a game, right?
Yeah, we played a set.
Oh, you played a full set.
Yeah. I don't know what I'll tell you. I don't remember who won, but I remember that I made a very bad mistake. I was in the deuce court, and Andre Agassi was serving, and I have a really good forehand, and he served me a half speed serve to my forehand, which is right in my wheelhouse, and I hit a shot that 99.9% of people would have never gotten. Agassi had to literally at the very end just get his racket on the ball, hit it to Mac, and Mac crushed it for the winner. After that, I saw Andre Agassi look at me, and I barely got the racket on another serve the rest of the set. He was like, "Really? Really? You're going to show me up in front of 17,000 people? Okay, let's see you try to return this." The next serve was a top spin serve that literally took me all the way off the court. I almost crashed into the stands. Okay. And then the next point that he was serving to me, he went to my backhand, no spin, just a bullet, ace, couldn't get my racket on it. And I'm sitting there going, you know what, Grant, you're an idiot. You just tried to, you showed up Andre Agassi, and now he's going to embarrass you. And he embarrassed me, and I deserved it.
You still got your moment, though.
I got my moment.
So Napes, I would, sorry, Baki, we're going to get to your question.
No. Just go on.
Napes, weren't you nervous about taking somebody's head off? Because I was there. There was people sitting like right there in the front rows along the court.
You know what?
You shake one.
I'll tell you what really stood out to me, Baki. It was very difficult with the people in the background wearing different colored shirts to pick up the ball off the racket on a serve with the toss. And the first serve that came to me, I was like, wow, I barely even see the ball. And it gave me an appreciation of what these pros go through with the different backgrounds that they play in, okay, around the world in different venues. And I was like, wow, I can't even imagine trying to return a serve from a guy serving 130, 140 miles an hour. So there you go.
No, thank you.
Bucky.
That just makes you in a few percent of persons who really got the tennis, because from that perspective, the tennis is quite another game.
Yeah.
Because watching it on the television is quite another thing.
All right. What's your take on the game tonight, Baki?
Well, the same as you. It's just a normal game that Kings should won, and they did it.
Right.
But I used those 4 or 5 days just to take some I don't know thoughts about what happened on the past road games. And maybe you're gonna agree or not, I don't know, but I think that Kings were good on that road trip, but the only thing that lacks was that mentality, that psychology of the team.
Yeah.
Because if you take those 5 games, okay, I don't look at Indiana, that was maybe it was pressure game, but those 3 games that we lost, I mean, in 2.5 games, we played great basketball. We just lost the game, but we played great basketball. And I don't know, maybe they should work out. Maybe I think Kings makes good decisions, play good basketball, and the only problem I see is when the game comes to the end, we made maybe a few errors. Something went wrong with the free throws. I don't know, but I think that we play good basketball overall.
You know, I don't disagree with that. I thought the Kings played very well against Milwaukee. And as Ryan said, you know, in the first 40 minutes of the Suns game, they played perfect. And then for whatever reason,
Maybe more.
it completely fell apart. Yeah.
Hey, Baki.
Yeah.
Are you Serbia's like Adam Schefter or Woj or Shams? Your cell phone's going off every 2 seconds.
No.
Popular guy.
No.
No.
This
All
this
good.
time I'm only committed to the show, and nothing
All
is
right.
ringing.
I
Nothing is
appreciate it.
Very
Yeah.
good. Well, we appreciate it, Boggy. Thank you so much for the call, man.
always.
Thank you.
All right, brother.
And enjoy watching Novak win it. And enjoy watching Novak. I'm sure he's going to win another Australian Open. Should have had 2 more, but the absurd COVID rules would not allow him to play. So, does anyone know if the Sac media asked Fox what's wrong with his gameplay? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, Sean Cunningham talked to him briefly before the game, just some very bland comments, basically, but nothing in depth. So no, to answer your question,
Well, the
but
question
should
to
be
me, the first question to De'Aaron was like, "Hey, De'Aaron, you know what? You don't look like yourself. Is anything wrong with you physically?" No. Is anything bothering you in your
Well,
personal
yeah,
life
no.
that's affecting your performance? I mean, any other city in America, that would be the
You're
questions that you would get to a
100%.
star player who looks like they're not in it right now.
110%. You hit the nail on the head. If
Right?
this was not Sacramento, yes. So, anyways,
And
all right.
I'm a big fan of Sean. I like Sean Cunningham. He used to be my producer. I love Sean. He's a great guy. But to me, if you're going to get a interview with De'Aaron Fox, who has not been speaking to the media, and you don't ask him that question, then you're wasting your time and you're wasting my time by putting that out there because you didn't ask the question that everybody wants asked.
Well, I think that's been the general complaint. That's why we see what's the question we see the most the last 2 weeks. What's going on with Fox? What's going on with Fox? You pull his stats up. It is noticeable. And I thought what Jerry Reynolds said at halftime was actually very profound because I watched the second half under those goggles or under that guy's. Yep. There is a little bit of explosion missed in there with De'Aaron, and it looks like this is one thing nobody's mentioned. His jump shot is a lot of arms right now and not a lot of legs.
Yeah, good point. Hey, I want to tell you about Bennett's. Great place to go for prime seafood and steak. 3 locations, including the West Side Grill in Rockland, which opened up in the summer. You can go to the Sacramento location, Howe and Fair Oaks, Roseville, Eureka Road, and Lead Hill Road. You're going to find the same great menu at all 3 locations. I love it. I think you will too. I love getting all the positive responses here on our chat for the people that have checked out Bennett's and have really enjoyed that. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, make a reservation, check out the menu and more. You will absolutely love the service, the ambiance, and the food at Bennett's Restaurants. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Sacramento wins. Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Joe. Sorry to cut you off, Napes. Joe. Did you not listen? Joe, you've had some good comments tonight, too. I've been reading them. But have you not listened to what we said for the last 2 minutes about the media in Sacramento? If you know that, why isn't the media reporting that? I mean, it seems clear as day. Grant, isn't there an obligation to report these things on the injury report?
If you're injured, yes.
So it's not obvious. Yeah,
you would get fined.
Shoulder.
The league would fine the Kings if they are not disclosing an injury. Yes, it is supposed to be mandatory on the report. Yes, and he has not been on the injury report.
He's not. No, I mean he missed 1 game for that shoulder, right? And it seemed more like a precautionary thing, not so much like he's got to sit out due to injury. Anyways, we get back to the phones. We get to Alex here on If You Don't Like That. What's up, Alex?
Hey, Alex.
Hey, how you guys doing? Wanted to say what's up to Grant. I missed him last time. You're amazing. Yeah. And then, just want to say you guys are doing a great job. Ryan killing it too. So good job, you guys.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, brother.
Yes. And I just want to say real quick, you guys touched up on it about Fox and his injury and why aren't they asking him, the questions. And I agree with that. But I do want to know your guys' perspective is, do you guys see a lack of leadership at all for not talking to the media, or do you think that's just what's happening? My personal opinion, I kind of feel like maybe it's shifting towards Sabonis. I actually see Sabonis getting in people's faces during the games. He gets in Herter's face, he gets in Keegan's face to tell him, hey, go here, go there. Him and Monk talk a lot. So I'm kind of wondering, is the crown shifting to Sabonis? Am I looking too much into it? Maybe. I'm not sure. I just want to know your guys' opinion. Thank you very much.
Great question, Alex. Grant, what do you think?
My opinion on this, Alex, is if De'Aaron Fox is not talking to the media after the game, number one, he should be fined by the NBA.
Yeah.
It is a lack of leadership. It is it's a lack of professionalism, and you can't have it. Now, I'm okay if like once every 2 months, you don't talk to the media. Okay.
Mhm.
But
It's a statement. It's a
exactly.
statement doing that.
Yes.
That answered it perfectly. I was wondering too that I'm a big Fox fan, but lately I'm like, man, I feel like Sabonis has been carrying that crown, if you will, by just talking to the guys and pointing them out where to go on defense and all that. I'd love to see more of that from Fox. He's your max player. He's your franchise, quote unquote. So I'm as a fan, I'm kind of thinking like, man, I want more out of you. I want you to talk to me. I want you to feel bad about the loss. I want you to like not smile as soon as we lose a heartbreaking game. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe, like I said, I'm thinking too much
Alex,
into it.
2 weeks ago, LeBron James 2 weeks ago left the Staples Center without talking to the media and got killed for it.
Yep, exactly.
And it was broadcast all over the NBA and all over Los Angeles. Fox doesn't talk to the media, and nobody even brings it up. Like, that's the difference between a big market like a LA and a small market like Sacramento, where the players have the media coddled. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, no, and great point. Just want to say again, you guys are the best. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully, if I'm not at work. Have a great night, you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Alex, so much. Yeah, that was it's a great talking point. And I guess my follow-up question, Grant, would be this: has De'Aaron's leadership regressed this year?
First of all, you have to define leadership because I don't know right now what's going on in the locker room and behind the scenes. 3 years ago, I knew because I was with the team every day. So I can't say, and I don't like to make a comment on something that I'm not aware of. And again, it's how you define leadership. There are quiet leaders. Like, for instance, Harrison Barnes is a quiet leader. Harrison is a leader by example. There are leaders by example. And trust me when I say that. He's the most respected guy in the locker room because of his work ethic and how he goes about his job. So there's that type of leadership. Then there's a vocal leader. There's different ways of leading,
Yeah, no, and I like what Alex did at the end because he's like, look, as a fan, this is my expectation of a max player because that's going to be different with every fan. You're going to have a different expectation of your guy. But I guess, Grant, we don't want to make any rushes to judgment, but I guess if I was to define leadership as just the eye test, if I just said the eye test, your gut for watching NBA basketball for 32 years, has something changed with De'Aaron between last season and this season?
Well, this to me looks like the De'Aaron Fox that I saw on the floor preceding the Domantas Sabonis trade. This is what this is the body language and what I'm seeing from him. And so I'll answer it that way. When you get paid that kind of money, you're on a max contract, you're an all-star, you're the starting point guard / quarterback. You are the Sacramento franchise. No disrespect to Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
Fox is the franchise. And your franchise guy has to be the franchise guy in all areas, not just what you see when you turn on the TV or go to the game. You need to see it after the game. You need to see him talking to the media. You need to see him out at the podium answering questions, win or lose, good performance, bad performance. I mean, I never remember Michael Jordan not talking to the media, and he talked to every single shoot around. He did a press conference, every shoot around, every post game, every single one. Okay. Always available. All right. I want to see Fox not only be really good on the court, I want to see him be really good in all areas where I thought he was last year. Ryan, I don't really recall him not talking to the media last year. It seemed like he was always, and in the first month or two of this season, it seemed like he was always doing post-game interviews.
Yeah, and it seems like, too, Grant, when he's had little things in the past that have been nagging him, like let's go with the shoulder, like Joe said, it's clearly a shoulder. Those things kind of trickled out, Grant, like through
Yeah.
the media,
Yeah.
like there's little bits and pieces of physically what's going on with De'Aaron. And so like when I think of De'Aaron Fox, let's take the basketball away from this. When I think of De'Aaron Fox, the first thing I think about is his smile. Just as a person, his smile. It doesn't look like he's having a lot of fun right now. And it looks like he's kind of lost that smile. And that could be because he's physically hurting. That could be for any number of reasons. But I just like to see him get it back. Yeah. So.
All right. Want to talk to you about Calusa Sunrise. And this is Blazona Development's newest project. And it is Sunrise Landing in Calusa. 6 models to choose from. No Mellorews, no homeowners. Check it out by going to calusasunrise.com. Phase 1 already sold out. Go check out one of their 6 models by going to calusasunrise.com. You can schedule an appointment and more by going to calusasunrise.com. Kings get the win tonight. Break a 4-game losing streak. Light the beam. Next up, the Golden State Warriors on Thursday.
The foe we know too well, right? And Draymond Green and everything that comes along with the good old Warriors.
Yeah.
So, and their fans.
Right. We're going to wrap it up. Ryan, great job, my friend. And again, thank you for the last 2 games going solo and doing the halftime by yourself with Jerry and the pregame, man. I loved it. I was watching. Excellent job. And to everyone else, thank you very much. Light the beam. And I haven't had a chance to say this lately. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Oh, boy. Talk to you soon. Don't forget Jerry Reynolds coming up here on Wednesday, 1 hour after Sean Salisbury. So Sean Salisbury is going to talk NFL playoffs, break down the 49ers-Lions game, and then at 4 o'clock, Jerry Reynolds right here on If You Don't Like That. Take care, everybody. Thank you.